My mouth is crooked. It's like Drew Barrymore's
We're
mouth.
on. We are on. It
That's okay.
says hello.
I have Drew Barrymore's mouth.
You know we're live.
It's okay.
Okay. This is how you say Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry countdown to Christmas. I'm so excited
Well,
that
one
you're
is
here.
Countdown to Christmas. What's the other one?
I don't know.
Hallmark Mysteries is Hallmark
Miracles
Channel's
of
Countdown.
Christmas.
Miracles of Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
everybody.
I'm so excited that you're here
I got
because
to
we're
get my
talking about the oldies, the goodies, the classics.
classics in quotes because it's very
Right,
loose.
quotes. What we could watch over and
Yeah,
over
the
and over
favorites.
again. So as we are waiting for people to pop in for a minute or two, if you've got a favorite that you can just a Hallmark favorite that you can watch over and over, put it in. While we're waiting, I'm going to share this. I love this one movie, and I could have sworn I do this to myself all the time that it was a Hallmark movie, and it wasn't. But it has the makings of being a Hallmark movie. Maybe it was on Lifetime or Up TV. I'm not sure. Probably Lifetime. It was called The Christmas Wish. And it's about a woman who's living in her car. Her husband has deserted her, and she has her 3 children. But what's so cool is that the one child really is not her. She's the stepmother. And it unfolds and you don't realize it. And she's basically homeless, and they have to go and live in this hotel. And she gets this job as a waitress in this small town. And there is this one scene that this kid brings it, and he cries. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Hallmark.
Yeah, but
That's
it
too
is though,
gritty.
because the whole town gets together and helps them out. It is. It's not. It's very very reminiscent of what Hallmark back in the day was, which is
Oh yeah, fair.
yeah, back in the
But
day.
it's really very gritty. It's for homeless
Kind
and
of. It sounds kind of like it is, but it's not. It's so stinking good though. It's so good. It's so good. Alrighty. So let's get started.
okay.
What is one that you want to talk about?
I was trying to think of what my favorite Hallmark Christmas movie is, and there's a lot that I like. I really can't identify one that's my favorite.
Okay.
Um, so I have my notes here.
What's up at the
Um,
top?
I have some recent, and when we talked about classics, when we were talking about doing this, classics to me means that's why I didn't want to use the word classic.
Mm-hmm.
Classics are like old, like back in the day kind of things, like, and
Hallmark
some of
Hall of Fame.
not, like when I think of like classics, I think of like 20, 30, 40 years ago. And some of my favorites are like from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I kind of tried to stay away from that word. So I have my notes. So pardon me for looking down. So I'm looking at my notes. So I would say my favorite, if I had to pick three favorites, they're all from last year.
All right, but just go do one at a time because I'm going to
One at a
interject some of
time.
mine. Yeah,
And I might cry, so be warned.
I've been crying all day.
Well, I've been crying all day. I had therapy at 4:00, and I was talking about my class reunion.
Oh
Did you see what I put on Facebook yesterday about my class?
no, but I'll check it
Go
out.
look,
Is
because I
it part
do.
of your gratitude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so the first one, this one I won't cry about. Catch
Okay.
Me If You Claws from last year.
I know you love that. You always
That's
talk about it. It's so
I love
good.
that. It was silly. It was Luke McFarlane's my hero. No other Hallmark leading man could pull that off. He's goofy. He's funny. There's no other
Charming. Charming.
charming. He pulled it off terrific. No other Hallmark leading man could pull that off. And I will die on that hill. Nobody,
On that snowy hill.
none of them could pull that off.
No, you are right.
He was perfect.
And
And
I have to agree with you. And I love him. I think he should be in even more. He's usually in a lot, but I want him to be in every year. We should have a Christmas movie and maybe a movie somewhere else because
well, he does other stuff. That's
I
the thing.
know he could do everything though. He really is a good actor.
Well,
He's a
those
good
other guys,
range.
those other guys are kind of like chained to Hallmark, and he does a lot of other stuff.
Yes, he
Like,
does.
well, I still want to see the meeting minutes from the production meeting on that Netflix movie, Single All the Way, where he ended up alone at the end of that movie.
I know you're so mad at that.
I'm still mad at that.
I know.
I thought, don't even get me started.
Now hold your thought. I want to
Who signed
interject
off on
here. So keep that in your mind.
Yeah, Luke's
So
voice is great.
yes, it is. And we have a new person here. Hi, welcome, Susan. So she says, "Hi, Roxanne. I'm new here, California, sorry. And I've discovered your videos recently. I've been loving them. Good, thank you. Especially anything on Chris McNally. We have quite a bit. I don't know if you've seen, I interviewed him last Christmas. That's a really good interview. He's very chatty and he shares a lot, but it's all about Christmas recipes. We do all kinds of stuff. He's a cutie patoot. And thank you for all you're doing to bring them to us. You are welcome. And I want to agree with you, Arlene. He does have a great voice, doesn't he? And his his presence is commanding. It is. There's not a movie he's been in that I didn't think was good.
And you know what? He's so charming. Last year on Christmas Day, because I follow his Instagram. I can't believe I follow people's Instagram. But last year on Christmas Day, his Instagram had a picture of, he must have a couple of nieces and nephews, watching him as Santa Claus on TV. He took a picture of him. And he says, "How do I explain this to these kids?"
I love that.
It was just cute. Yeah, I love that.
That's cute. And that was a cute movie. I think it was really cute because it had the elements of, it was different. It was different in that
last year they did different stuff, which is what I like. That's why I have 3 from last year. And they're all different. Unraveling.
And the other thing that I liked about it too is that it had the spirit of Christmas in there, you know, that suspended of, you know, reality, but it worked. It was done. I don't know. It was really done well. It
was well done. The other one from last year that I like, I recorded or DVR'd, whatever they call it these days. I didn't watch it till spring because I didn't think I would like it. And I cried from beginning to end. I can't bring myself to watch it again.
Okay.
And it was totally un-Hallmark-ish. Holiday Road.
I know. That one had a lot of life lessons in it.
And it was not the typical
romance.
Hallmark.
Yeah.
And when they all came, and look, I'm going to talk about it because it's been available for a year. And if you haven't seen it, and look, they all have happy endings, so it's not giving anything away. And when they all came together at the end, I mean, I didn't see that coming. I just thought, you know, the guy and the girl got together, Happy New Year. And when they all got together with the influencer at the end, it just was heartwarming.
It was good. And Warren Christie's in it.
See, I don't know these people.
Oh my God. He's just like, I just did a movie that he was in and he's delicious. And he can kiss like nobody's business.
I know, you told me that.
He and Chris McNally are like the kissing kings.
And then the other one from last year was, and I had to watch this. I'm going to just give a little background to it. I live in Massachusetts, but I also have my family home in New Jersey. And I think the cable was out or something, or there was some reason I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch it on the TV. Okay. So I watched it on my phone, and it was freezing in the house, and I was in bed. It was Saturday night. It was in bed. I have a very exciting life. And and you weren't available, or we would have watched it together at your house. And am I allowed to talk to people in the chat? You yelled at me last time.
You can.
Arlene, the old guy at the grave, had me crying too.
No, I think I may have, because it was ahead of what we were doing, but it doesn't matter. We're just hanging out. But
and hi, Cindy. So anyway, so it was Christmas at Cherry Lane, and I was watching it on my phone, and I really couldn't keep track, and it was freezing in my bedroom, and I'm watching it on my phone, and I didn't have any lights on. I was watching it by the light of the phone, and I'm watching on the phone, and I'm like, you know, well, they must have cheaped out on this movie because that kitchen looks the same, and then I put it all together at the end of the first act.
It was so good.
And I just started crying, and I remember I was texting Scott, and I'm like, "Are you watching this?" And he was watching, and you weren't around because I wasn't texting you, and And I still didn't get the gist of it because I wasn't watching on the big TV. And I have to watch it again, but I just can't bring myself. And I have a DVR here and at the farm, but I can't. I'll watch it when I go back to the farm.
I watched that one. I DVR'd it and I watched it later. And here's why. I think it was the night I had a Christmas party for all the girls, like the girls' Christmas
I
party.
think you had something.
Yeah, like a house full of people, but it's really good. And it's funny because I watched halfway and I had to stop. I had to be somewhere and I was mad because I was so like caught up in, because it's sort of like a mystery of how it all unfolds.
We have to pay attention.
I remember I said to you, the writing is fantastic on that. It is fantastic. They did a really good job.
And I'm not even going to talk about Jonathan Bennett's eyebrows. I do have more to say about Jonathan Bennett, but I'll save that.
Okay.
So a lot of the older ones, you know, and I love Hallmark as much as everybody else, but let's be honest, it's a factory. So back in the old days, before they became a factory, the Christmas movies were a little less predictable. And Cindy, we're talking about Christmas, like favorite Christmas movies that we can watch again and again.
Put yours in so we can talk about yours, and he'll tell you what he thinks about them, and I will too.
Okay. So the older ones are the ones I like, and they are a factory. They're predictable. They're going to end up together, and that's what I said this last time I was on. That's why people watch them. If you want to watch a documentary, you watch another channel. If you want to learn something, you watch. You know, there's channels for that. There's the History Channel, and there's ID Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not rooted in reality. I mean, that's
I was talking to Alex Hook. Today's like a double hitter. So she stars in The Way Home, and she plays Kat, and she has a Christmas movie coming out. And we were talking about just like people watch it because it's feel good. Do you know what I mean? You are guaranteed that you will feel good. And which is nice. Like
Bonnie and I, they used to do before Hallmark started getting in on the action. Lifetime used to do these movies.
Yes, they did.
And Bonnie was an old friend of mine. She passed away 15 years ago. And we would call us way before texting, and we'd call each other on the commercials and we'd say, "Oh, gee, do you think they're going to get together?" And of course it was always like a widowed dad with the nanny, it was all, et cetera, et cetera. But there are before we get too deep into it, there are certain movies I don't like that I'm not going to talk about. And Roxanne knows what they are. I don't love movies with angels, time travel, royals. And while I have the utmost respect for the folks that serve our country in the military, I don't love the military ones. So I'm not going to be talking about it. There are a few exceptions, but there's not any of those.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to interject some of mine for a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So, Cindy, what's it? Avis, you were talking about the Christmas card. I'm going to get to that, Avis, and remind me to tell you about Joni Kane. Okay, don't let me forget. But I'm going to. I'm going to go. I picked 3 that I absolutely can watch.
Oh, I have about 20.
I know, but I picked 3 for our time frame, and I can watch them over and over and over and over again, and I do. And they're 3 very different. Are there others I like? Yes, but there's something nostalgic and wonderful about these 3 that I like. And I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to show a picture just so people remember. So this is Christmas at Pemberley, and I think I love the house. It is so gorgeously decorated. And I think also what I love is all the Christmas tropes are in there. So I was asking Alex, are there a lot of Christmas tropes in hers? And she's like, we have skating. So I'm excited to watch hers. Hers is called A 90s Christmas. If you did not have a chance to catch Alex, you can, it's listed in my podcast, so you can go watch it. Anyway, these 2 actors lit up the screen, but I feel like Michael, is it Rady? Is that how you say it? Rady? He came from like motion picture. He starred in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and he's done a lot of major network series where he has a spot in our episode here and there. He's really good actor. He's very busy with other things, like you were saying earlier about who was it, about Luke, and he's so busy. But he's got like this quiet, he plays all range also, but he has this quiet sexiness, if we can say that word, about him. He has like the
I
riz. He
think
has
we can
riz.
say that on Hallmark.
I know he has riz. He really does. And these two are phenomenal together when they're in each other's spaces and how they play off of each other. And she's got a gorgeous voice, Jessica. Gorgeous, and she gets to sing in this, and they go on a sleigh ride and they bake and they're decorating because they're getting this festival together. It is extremely Christmassy. And he was in a really good Christmas movie last year with Lindsay Fonseca. That one was wonderful because it was in black and white while they were trying to find their way back to Christmas. It was really good. I feel like Michael is under celebrated. Remember we talked
Oh,
about
I have a whole list of those people. We'll talk
Yes,
about that another time.
I know. And I'm slipping it in here because he happens to be in one of my favorite movies. He's an under celebrated actor. I think he's exceptional.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of those.
yes, this is definitely one of mine. Now, a cool fact with Jessica's movie is called this year, A Happy Howling Day. Happy Howling Day, for like howl, like a dog howling. And the cool thing is that they have her listed as the lead, but you don't know who her partner is or her co-star because they're doing something on Hallmark Plus, and it is called Finding Mr. Christmas. Jonathan Bennett is leading it, and he hosts it. They've dropped 2 episodes so far, and they had a panel of men who act and do all kinds of stuff, and they're putting them through all their paces, and whoever wins is her co-star. Now, of course, that person's already been picked, but we don't know about it, and it's unfolding. And by the way, if you like this movie, you can catch it on Hallmark Plus.
I wonder if Hallmark employs a person just to take care of Jonathan Bennett's eyebrows.
I think no. I think that he has it in his contract that he can have his own people do that.
That's probably true. Oh, by the way, if any of my friends are on here, please text me because I can't really see who's on here.
Oh, listen, I'm going to show it, mister. Okay.
I don't need to show it. I have a lot to do. I have to pay attention. So I'm going back to my favorites now.
Okay.
Now, because of what's been going on in my own life, I may cry. Very recently, I had a high school class reunion, and had a very small class, and many of us have stayed close.
He only had like 5 people in it, and he was excited because he was the valedictorian.
But there was something about this reunion. It was like a genie's bottle. It was like magic was unleashed, and we're all like super close again. It's actually crazy. It's
because we're getting old.
And it's like it's like we're back. We're teenagers again. It's just crazy. We have this group text, and we're doing a Christmas party, and we're doing this and that.
All right, get to your point.
So anyway, I remembered Christmas class reunion where they could never get it together to have a reunion. They always had a disaster.
Yes.
And they finally had it. So I was going through my Hallmark list, and that was on there. That was
cute. We like that movie too, a lot of us, because Chris McNally has a cameo in it. There's a spot where they're taking a photo with Santa, and he's the crazy elf that puts his head in the middle of all them and acts silly. So he's in that. So there are people who like that.
Another one was an Allison Sweeney one, Christmas at Holly Lodge, and I'm going to cry on this one.
I love her.
She owned the lodge, right? Her parents had died, left her this lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Broke as broke can be. She had this group that came every year from Christmas from all over the place. It was going to be their last Christmas together. This one woman, it was Cheryl Lee Ralph, and her husband had died that year.
Yep.
Her name was Maxine, which you know how I love Maxine.
Yes.
And she wasn't going to sing because she just couldn't do it. And I think her dead husband's name may have been Frank.
Oh gosh.
And somebody's husband was in Afghanistan, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the guy from the bank came to take the place, and he found a loophole in the mortgage where she had been paying this mortgage all these years that she didn't have to.
Yeah.
So they had to pay her all the mortgage back plus interest. The day is saved. She fell in love with the banker. Maxine found her voice and
Sing.
she sang, and they
That was
FaceTimed
beautiful,
together.
that singing. Was
It
that
was,
her
it was, it
voice?
was wonderful. It was just hard. And it affected, well, first of all, I'll watch anything with Allison and Shirley Ralph. And I think it came out the year my mother died.
Oh.
And so anything got me there.
All right, hold your thoughts. It's their turn. We got to give them a turn here. So
Okay.
Avis says the Christmas card is a great one from a few years back, and I'm going to talk about that, Avis. And I'm going to talk to you about Joni Kane, and if you really like it, I'll tell you a few other things, but not yet. Let's see. Cindy is saying, "Oh, okay. One of mine is actually a Lifetime movie from 2-3 years back, A Snowed In Christmas with Andrew Walker. Oh my God, and Bethany Joy Lenz. That girl. That's another." Under celebrated actor. She's fantastic in everything she does. She's so authentic. I forget she's acting. I think that's a little bit more than 2 or 3 though, Cindy. I think that's more like 5. But I also love One Royal Holiday. One Royal Holiday is good too. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the prince and princess. My sister loves them. I'm not a fan of them. But this is a good one, Cindy. I agree with you. And if you ever go over to the podcast, and she also links it through YouTube so you can see it too. She's a hoot and a half. Dear Hallmark, and she says, "Dear Hallmark," and she talks about all the movies. She's very good, and she loves that one. She says it's a treat for herself that she has to watch it every Christmas, so she would agree with you. Chip, this is for you from Kathy.
I saw that in the chat.
She says, "I remember when you were on last time talking about Aurora, and you called Candace Cameron CCB. We always do.
We always, when we talk on the phone, we
Yep.
do that. I think it started when we were texting. It was just
Yep.
easier to do that.
Yep. Thank you so much. Now I have a shorthand version for her name. Yep. We always say that. CCB.
Yeah, I have something to say about her later.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to talk about a movie that Roxanne did not like that I loved, and I was on the other day. Santa Summit from last year.
God, I can't stand it.
Here's why I loved it. It was different. They never did one. They never did anything like that before. It was fun. And when I was young, I'm 59. I would probably still do it. That is something that Bonnie and me and Rob would have done. We would have just gone on a Saturday, put on a hat, and just spent the day doing that.
Yeah.
We would have done that.
I didn't like it.
And wait. They could do that every year in a different city.
Well, they kind of do it again. There's another version. I've seen another version
And
of it.
the other thing was, it wasn't fraught with any drama. There was no tree farm in peril. No bakery was closing. Nobody had amnesia. There was no dead wife. There was no orphan to save. It was just fun. It was people having fun.
They were having fun, and it bored the life out of me because they kept missing each other, and it annoys me. And that is a theme that they've had in quite a few movies that they've had this year.
People having fun. That's a problem.
No, I don't mind people having fun. I hate they keep missing each other and missing and missing and missing. I know it makes the storyline go ahead, but it gets on your nerves.
I loved it. I watched that twice, and I'll watch it again this year.
Okay.
And then here's my unpopular opinion, and I may not be asked for that. I may not be asked back for this.
Why?
I did not like Three Wise Men and a Baby. Not only did
I'm not going to say that. People love
the only thing I enjoyed about that, and you're going to know why I'm going to say this. The only thing I enjoyed about that was Margaret Collin, because I feel like I'm related to her. I have a kinship with Margaret Collin, and you know why.
Dear Lord. So she's good. I love her.
She's great. She's not good. She's great.
Yes. And no, I know that. And she was the best of all of it. And that was just those 3 guys, and their big draw, and they put them together for whatever reason.
It was just simple. It was simple. It wasn't funny. I thought it was corny. It was not funny. And they're doing another one this year. It's going to be a big hit. It's going to be cornier. And I was rewriting it as I was watching it. The cranky neighbor should have ended up with the mother, right? They could have aged him up a couple years, had him be nice at the end, ended up with the mother. The woman who left off the baby. She had problems. She should not have ended up with the
But
son right
wait
away.
a minute. That's my biggest thing with
Right.
that.
The
Who
mother,
does?
Margaret Collins, should have taken her in, right, and helped. Said, "Here, come stay with me,
Mhm.
and I'll help. I have 3 sons. I've always wanted a daughter. Let me help you." And
No.
I, I,
It was weird.
it
It
was
was
weird.
it was a little weird. It was weird. Now, Arlene says Christmas in Conway, A Dog Named Christmas, and November Christmas are my favorites. I watch them every year. And those are from
I think
the old.
November Christmas started as Hallmark Hall of Fame in the old
Yes,
days.
I agree with that. That one's got like serious stuff that we don't see too much
No,
now.
it was about a kid dying.
I
Yeah.
know, exactly. And it's not one I can watch, Arlene.
Nobody dies on Hallmark.
And
They're
Arlene,
already dead. They're
I
already
know,
dead and over it.
I know.
The
Arlene,
6-year-old's mother died, and she's
no, stop it. That's
being
not
terrible.
true. Arlene I think it's Arlene has like an eye issue, but she looks like where everyone's praying for her and she's doing well, which is nice. Julie says one of her favorites is Christmas
I
Connection.
don't remember that one.
What I'm thinking, Julie, go into the comments and tell us a little bit about it because I know the name, but I'm drawing a blank. I feel like I should know it. And Kathy, I agree with you. He played some really intense roles. He did. Michael Rady he is just the bomb. I'm telling you, he's very much under celebrated.
And I
And
want,
Susan, she loves Snowed in Christmas with Andrew Walker and Joy Lenz. That's
and
the one that they were saying about that's on Lifetime.
do you remember when she was on Guiding Light, like in the 90s?
I do, and she's
Yeah.
an excellent actress. She really is.
She played the Riva clone in the 90s when they cloned
Oh,
Riva. That she played
yes.
Riva as a teenager, and they liked her, and they brought her back as Michelle Bauer.
Okay, I remember that.
Oh, I'm going
Ar
to talk about Christmas on Mistletoe Lane in a minute, Arlene. I want to thank Avis and Catherine for agreeing with me.
That's right. Right,
Oh,
right,
yes,
right.
Cindy, I want to read her book too about being in a cult.
Yeah. Oh, who was in a cult?
Bethany Joy Lenz, she was in a cult.
What?
Yeah, she was in a
Very Catholic. Do you
while she
know?
was on One Tree Hill, she was in a cult.
She talks about like she's very Catholic. She talks about the rosary and stuff like that. I didn't know she was in a
Yeah,
cult.
she's Google it. She was in a cult. She has a book
Wow.
coming out. And
All
then
right.
the next one I want to talk about is last year. Arlene you just posted Christmas on Mistletoe Lane. I like that because again, it wasn't like fraught with the usual Hallmark tropes. It was not the kids were involved. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like the whole usual stuff. And who knows? They may have ended up together. They may not. It's not important. What I did like was that the guy, Victor, the father, he found the deed at the end. There was a whole question on who owned it. He found the deed, and you don't know. Like the next day, he brought it to whoever, and now they
Yeah.
own it.
It was good, and they were cute together. I liked all of the actors.
Yeah, and it
It was a
wasn't a
very
whole.
small cast too. I love what was going on.
That's what I liked about it too.
Yeah.
And like she didn't go to the bookstore and become like it's which one did I watch the other day? Oh, the one with the lighthouse, Nantucket Noel.
Yes,
No,
yes.
no, not
No,
Nantucket
no, no,
Noel.
no, that one's good too. No,
Christmas Island. No,
yes. No, it's something
Navigating Christmas.
that's it.
And like she goes to the diner and she's fixing up the lady at the diner with the da 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 da. She's there for 3 days. It's like it's her hometown. That gets to be a little much.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. And uh this one, it was a very small cast. They didn't have time. They didn't get involved in the
Time for
town. They were just
nonsense.
working on the house. And I
Um,
like that the kids got involved.
so Cindy says that she likes Santa Summit like you did.
I
And
did.
then you've got another agreeing over this is your BFF. They're your BFFs tonight. I agree, Chip, about three wise men, a baby, three brothers that do not resemble each
No, they got the
other.
3 most popular guys. They put them together. I get it. I get it. I get why they did it. It was just corny and ridiculous. And the only good thing about it was Margaret Collin. And I'll
Catholic.
tell you my connection to Margaret Collin, who I've met one time in my life. I've really no connection to her. And I know where she lives, and I've walked by her apartment a million times. She was the original Margot on As the World Turns in the very early 90s, 80s.
80s.
And Ellen Dolan, who played Margot on As the World Turns from 1989 till the show went off the air in 2009, is my very good friend. So somehow I think I'm related to all the Margaux.
I know.
That's it. That's it. So I
He's
met her one
insane.
time, and I think she's my friend.
That's all right. Catherine is okay. Santa Summit is like a fun treasure hunt,
Yeah.
and it is. You're right. It is. But you're
Roxanne
right.
didn't like it.
That's okay. And Joy Lenz is yes, she is. She's an exceptional actor. And they talk about her bestseller. I get that. Now, Julie, she's got a list here for us. Julie, what do you have?
I like when they come prepared.
Pardon me?
I like when they come prepared.
Brooke, can't speak. Brooke Burns, Tom Everett Scott. She is
Gourmet Detective.
Oh, that's a good. Those two are good, aren't they? She's beautiful. And Tom's little girl is the unaccompanied youth flying to Chicago.
I remember that one. Yeah.
That's good. That is a goodie one. Yes. Yes. That was Christmas Connection. Oh, okay.
See, I don't always remember the names.
Thank you. I felt like I should have remembered it. And that one was a very good one. Victor Webster, a great actor as well, very humbling in his roles. Listen, Victor Webster is, to me, one hunk of a man. Okay.
And he's not the classic Hallmark guy, which I like.
But he is a good actor.
He is very good. Yeah, I said he's not
and I love him with Allison. Those two are great together. Now,
well, she worked with him on Days of Our Lives like about 100 years ago.
They're so good together. And how about this? And this, Chip, did you see A Biltmore Christmas?
You know what? I have not seen it yet.
That's right. And I said I think you'll like it, even though it goes back in time. It is.
Well, I'll allow it.
Yeah, it is a classic, and the costumes were stunning. If anyone who loves the Biltmore Christmas last year, we had the opportunity to talk to the directors, the people who actually made the movie, and the two guys came on and talked about it in detail to us. But we also had the costumer on. He's a doll. He's gorgeous himself. And then he tells you really cool things that make you go back to watch the movie with different eyes. So if you haven't had an opportunity, please pop in and watch.
Todd that's the COO of my practice. He lives in Asheville, North Carolina, and he goes to the Biltmore like just to hang out. And so he saw them filming parts of it and stuff.
Cool. Now, Avis, I agree with you. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year was great with Henry Winkler. He was outstanding. Also, an older one, A Season for Miracles. Oh, with Patty.
No, I did like that one.
Angel, who works in the records where everything gets lost and you can't find, and then she kind of like disappears. Yes, that is a good one.
Well, and anything with Patty Duke is good.
The Most Wonderful Time of the Year is fun. And it's old, and you would like the actress because it's the gourmet detective girlie. Yes, Brooke Burns, and she has a cute son, but Warren Christie is in it. I love that man. That man is
There's one I'm saving for the end, so I'm skipping that.
All right, hold on. Now I'm going to share with this. I'm going to go to my number 2 here. So this is the Christmas list. And I love the Christmas list because she's an exceptional actress. She really is. And she was in quite a bit. And then I know she had some personal things with her health and some tragedy with her family.
Her parents.
And
they live not too far from here.
And she was out of the loop for a while, and she's coming back, I think. But I had the pleasure of meeting her. And I have to tell you, like, she's beautiful. But when you see her, and she was singing when I met her too, she had a little concert. When you see her in person, you don't realize how tall she is. She is stunning. Her skin, she really didn't have a lot of makeup on because she just has this gorgeous skin. Her skin is gorgeous. She has beautiful teeth and beautiful smile, beautiful voice. But this one was fun to me because it had all of the Christmas feels. I'm not even going to call them a trope. I'm going to say that they were more of like the Christmas feels because they had just the making of the gingerbread man and the decorating of the house, and they had this part where she and the mother sort of had this angsty kind of relationship, and it was very heartfelt. And Peter Benson is in it, and he plays the jerky
Arthur.
boyfriend. He's so great, and he
He's
plays
goofy.
the
I like him.
yeah, I know, the jerky boyfriend, and of
Oh, I've
course
seen him play jerky before.
he get when he directs. That's the part he gives himself when he directs, but he didn't direct this one. This was early on, and
Well,
he does.
he plays jerky and goofy well.
Yes, and
Like
he's a little
Arthur. Arthur's like goofy and dim.
yes, but not jerky. But this one was a little
I've seen
condescending.
there's one where he played the jerky city boyfriend. I forget which
Well,
one.
he's kind of like that in this.
Yeah.
And this is Gabe, right? Gabriel, I think is his name. They're
Oh,
really
from
cute.
he's Norman from
Yes. They're very cute together. She even sings a carol. It's cute. And by the way, both Pemberley, Pemberley Manor, and this one are on Hallmark Plus if anybody wants to catch them. I don't think they're in the rotation for this year on Countdown to Christmas, though, unfortunately.
Well, I'm going to skip around my list since you put this one up. Merry
Okay.
Mix-Up is one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of her. I mean, it's a ridiculous
Well,
premise,
the guy is
but
cute too. Yeah.
but it's real. I remember watching that with my mom, and my mother had no time for. My mother didn't like simple things,
I know.
and but she was charming, and it was such a ridiculous premise. Like how'd that go on so long with nobody figuring that out?
I know. That
And
gets on my nerves too.
and but it was cute. But the real next one on my list, which Gabriel Hogan was also in, was The Murder She Baked, the plum pudding murder. They had to plug in a Christmas one, right? In that series. It was fine. It was fine, but I'll watch anything with Allison Sweeney. And then wait, there's another one. Oh, there was a couple Hanukkah ones I wanted to talk about. The one with I watched this on Christmas Day one year. It was the first Christmas that I was out of our house when my brother was living in our house and I wasn't. And I stayed at that inn 2 doors down from my sister's,
Yep.
and I had to wait for a certain time to go to my sister's.
Uh-huh.
And Love Lights Hanukkah with Mary Lou Henner, where the girl, it was that Italia Ricky that did the movie with Luke. And she did the DNA test. She thought she was Italian, had the Italian restaurant. She found her DNA match with these people that owned a deli, and turned out she went to have lunch with them, and turned out Mary Lou Henner was her mother. And right away she just comes out, "Oh, when's your birthday?" "Oh, November, whatever. And she's like, "Oh, I'm your mother." Like, it just comes out with it. And then her husband had died, but this woman's
Father
was still alive. He was a chef in Europe. They got together. There really should be a part 2 of that. And I remember the brother being a dork. He owned a deli, and he was just a big dork. And his wife wasn't there. I said he was a big closet case. And Mary Lou Henner played a really good, domineering Jewish mother. So I'd really love to see a sequel with Mary Lou Henner and the bio dad getting together. And then there was another Hanukkah one with it was like the deli wars, and it turned out the 2 grandmothers had the same recipe.
Oh, that was good. That was
great.
That was heartfelt. That was
like the 2 grandmothers, and then
and
there
they
was
kind of cry when they realize. Like,
and then the match. It was the matchmaker, right? They were writing letters to each other.
Yes.
And then the other one was the 8 Gifts of Hanukkah.
I didn't see that one.
The guy, there was this girl this guy, they grew up together, and he kept on leaving a gift as a secret admirer every day of Hanukkah.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. And then just this weekend, I watched Time for Her to Come Home for Christmas. I think that was the weakest one in that Time for Christmas thing. But anyway.
Did you like it?
I did, but I didn't love it. I think the lead had a bad wig.
Oh, we went through that, and I told you she just has big hair.
Yeah, and
This
I don't know if this was a Christmas one, and maybe you or the folks. Yeah, see, Catherine, we're on the same page here.
mhm.
Um, Maybe folks in the chat or Roxanne, you can help me. I'm not sure if this was a Christmas movie. It was Niall Matter. He needed a kidney, and his brother wasn't a match, and they were told their father was dead, and his BFF was a genealogy expert or something.
That's a mystery. That's a mystery
Is that one of the
series
mysteries that they never
with
followed up
her.
on a part
Yes,
two?
which I
Okay.
love that, and she was in it. It was called something with the genealogy. Natalia Ritchie, I think, was in that one
Was
too.
she the lead?
No,
Okay.
no, no,
So
no,
that
no,
was not.
no. It was no, it's a Hispanic
Okay.
woman.
So that's not a Christmas
Yeah.
one, so we can skip it. And then our other favorite, and the one Billy and Adam was in, that was not a Christmas one, right?
No, with the olive tree.
I still
Oh,
wonder whatever happened to them.
yes.
Sure.
Robin is saying the Christmas Inn with Rachel Boston and Wes Brown was fun too.
Oh,
They
I
were
love
cute
her.
in it. And they were cute because they had all these challenges the two families had to do. And it was almost like a Romeo and Juliet thing where
Was that the one with the two? They had like the Battle of the
yes.
Inns.
And
Yeah.
well, no, that's a different one who had the Battle of the Inns. But these are two families that should not like the kid. They had to lie that they didn't like each other, but they did. And like that's why I said it was Romeo and Juliet. It's good. It's classic stuff. Before we go,
In Romeo and Juliet, everybody died.
yes, I do know that. I said Romeo and Juliet-ish. So about the whole family thing. The 8 Gifts of Hanukkah was great, Ava said. I wanted to show people why we're sitting here some Christmas stuff if you're out there shopping. If you go to Target, they have a lot of cool things that they're still putting out there, and they're not for me, but these really look like cookies. They're made with it's almost soft but not, and they're gingerbread. They
Does it
weren't that
smell? Did they put the gingerbread set in it?
they didn't, but they could have. Look how gorgeous. I don't even see how they glitter. I bought two because I'm doing something with them as a gift for someone. And they had the gingerbread house that went with it. They had all these different things. One was more gorgeous than the other, and it had all this neutral colors. And I thought they were beautiful. And I think they were $4.99. So if you want to do a little shopping, that one's for you. Arlene said, hold on. Here's one from Lifetime a way back. Jen Lilly, in the spirit of Christmas in 1920s, man returns for 12 days every Christmas to his family's inn after being murdered. She helps him find out who killed him. My sister actually knows Jen Lilly before Jen Lilly actually blew up, and she would talk with her and everything. And she loves Jen Lilly, and yes, and she loved that movie. I never had seen it until it was actually showed up on Netflix, and she watches it, I think, every year. Little spicier and a little different, but good, especially with the mystery itself. And then the trilogy of Finding Father Christmas was good. You watched it a few times and it engages me every time. That has Now Matter in it, if I'm not mistaken, and it has Aaron Krakow. And it's one from the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries chip. So it's a little more on the serious side. You know how they'll put that on there instead of just the traditional Hallmark. And those two are really good actors. I mean, Aaron's excellent. And then the two of them together is really good.
I
Yeah.
saw earlier somebody put something in the chat about the Timeless Christmas. That's one of the few time travel movies I liked, where
Oh, someone put that in there. Yes.
the guy comes out
Ryan
of the
Peavy.
picture and then he decides to stay. It's like
Yep.
2020 or something.
Mhm.
I did like that one. And that was that with that Ryan Pavey guy who
Yep. Yes.
that's probably the only one of his movies I liked. And then there's I have one here. Oh, Small Town Christmas with what's his name? The one that plays Travis in 101.
Oh, I love him. Chris Palaha.
Yeah, so the an old flame of his writes a book about his hometown, and she goes back, and he wrote her an email, and she had left the job, so she never got the email. And then the guy who played Bud in that movie is there to kind of buy up the town, and P.S. they end up together.
So here is my ultimate this is it for me. I gotta watch it, and it's not in the rotation anymore. There's some controversy about why it's not. Some are saying that it's because of it's an older movie, the way it was made when it's like on it's not digital like it was, and it doesn't play like the others. But I've never had a problem with it, and it doesn't matter to me. But I love this. It's called The Christmas Card. It has Ed Asner in it, and these two, they have like John Newton, I think it is, and Alice Evans. They have great chemistry. She's actually English. You don't even realize it in this one. And they're so cute together. It has everything. It has a sleigh ride. It has snow. It has the almost kiss, the kiss. He's a military guy, but it's not very big in the beginning. It has the beautiful card writing campaign. The story unfolds like a Hallmark Hall of Fame kind of thing. There's even the jerky boyfriend that comes back and he is rude. And it talks about God. They're in church. It's just, oh my God, it's just so good. It makes me want to eat crispy curly fries and a tuna sandwich because she does all it, like has all that. And I had one of the greatest pleasures of actually having to like build a little mini relationship. I feel like calling her my friend Joni Kane. If you're there, she's the writer. And she also teaches screenwriting. I think that's what she's doing now. And she let me know that they have a Facebook page dedicated just to this one movie. It is so cool. And I know. And she became good friends with one of the actresses who played the real sassy, cute waitress, and who's also an artist. And when Ed Asner passed away, Joni Kane and she wrote a book together that you could get. It's about a unicorn. There's a whole story behind that. But if you tune in to my interview with her, she'll share all kinds of goodies with you. And this movie I don't know how we're going to see it. I know some people are watching it on YouTube.
It's got to be posted on YouTube. Yeah.
I know. But if you're watching it on regular YouTube, that means it was illegal and it was hijacked. But if you have the YouTube you pay for, I think that's where you can get it. We've looked all over, but it makes me sad. You can get the DVD of it. I saw that if everybody has a DVD player, but it's really good. If anyone's interested in, this is what I wanted to share with you, Avis. You could go watch those videos, or their videos now when they post their evergreen, but they were chats. And also, if you're interested in joining the Facebook group, it's called the Hallmark Christmas Card. And if you look it up, you'll be able to join them, which is nice. They do a campaign for the military Christmas card writing. If I'm not mistaken, I even think one of the people that is an admin to the page, she actually had a little Google Meet with John Newton. They chatted. Now I missed that. I should go back and watch that. I forgot about it. I don't know if it's still available or not.
We're running out of time. There's 4 more I want to get to.
Actually, we're not running out of time. We could talk however long we want, but I want to share what they have to say. Let's see. Love the Christmas card too. Thank you, Robin. It's so good and emotional. They do a great job. And Susan says, sensibility in the snowman. And I love alliteration. We're good with Erin, Luke, and Kimberly. Oh, Kimberly Susted is, to me, she is beautiful, and she can bring it. Like someone put the 9 lives with the cats. That one's cute. And they did a sequel to it. And it broke my heart to think that they weren't happily ever after. And you find out she's got a whole other life, but in the end they wind up back together, which works in the second one. But I love anything she does with Campbell. I love those two together. And there'll be cameos in each other's stuff. They're like one of the pairings that you'll see often, like you see Nikki with Andrew often. That's a big pairing that they do. Love her. Think she's gorgeous. And this is not a Christmas movie, but she was just recently in with Luke. Oh, what's Lucas? What's his name? I can't think of it. It was. Talk about they entered the room together and looked at each other. Oh my God, the chemistry was off the hook. And it was about her finding her place. And she's like at a dude ranch Forgive me, I forgot the name of it, but it was good. Love her.
I don't like the pet ones either.
Cindy says, I want to remove that. Cindy says, I believe this movie will be on Pix or BYU TV this year, maybe even Up TV. I think that Hallmark sold it to other channels, so they can't show it at this time. Candace, Hallmark doesn't own it. That's why something I wanted to say. Like, people think Hallmark owns all these things and it's their studio. That doesn't always happen, but there is something with rights or something mentioned. So you're on the right track, I think. Robin says, yes, Susan, that was a fun movie, and I love Kim in the movie. She is great, an actor too, along with Aaron, of course. That was the snowmen and all that one. 9 Lives, yes, and 9 Kittens. You got that. A Christmas Card is on YouTube. It is. But if we don't want to promote it if it's on regular YouTube, because that means somebody did a copyright on it, which is a no-no. But if it's on the YouTube that you purchase, you might see it. This is for the Christmas Card. Okay. Candace. The Christmas Card is a winner at our house. Me too. The romance, the friendship, then the traditional Christmas scenes are all worth watching as a family movie. I am right. There's dancing, cookie making. There's everything. It's so good. Yes, and they're all talking to each other. Loved that movie. Watch it many times. The Real West. Thank you. It's so good, Robin. She's exceptional in it, and they were electric, those two. Anything with Kim is good. She is so good. She's a natural and authentic. Love her. All right. I think A Christmas Starlight is one of my favorites too, which she's in it with Mr. Campbell. All right. Go ahead. Finish it. Take it.
All right. I'm just going to go through a couple. These two, I think one's from last year. We can just go through these two real quick. Holiday Hotline I liked.
Yes, that was good.
Niall Matter. And
Niall's
another one
good.
with him was Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. That's a couple years old.
Yes.
That was cute.
With Ashley.
Yeah, I did. That was cute. And I just wanted to mention those. I don't really have a lot to say about those. One I don't have a lot to say about this one either, but I think they premiered this one in the summer one year, and we enjoyed this, Roxanne, Crashing Through the Snow. And why I like that was the main characters were divorced, which you don't see a lot.
Yep.
She was a non-traditional heroine.
Yeah,
Amy actress. She was a little bit clumsy and chunky, and she was tripping over herself. And that hot tub scene.
I was like, girl, put your clothes on. Remember, I said this the other night because Warren Christie was in the story, our holiday story with Nikki. And I was talking about then when he kissed Amy and they're friends. I was like, I feel like I saw things I shouldn't have seen.
But I also think how weird is it the next year when the divorced mom and dad is married to a brother and sister?
I almost spit out. Oh,
and then this one was not a great movie, but I have 2 things to say about it, and I don't even know the name of it. The one with Jonathan Bennett, who hires the girl to decorate his house because his family's coming.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Alexa. I know her name. Alexa Penavega.
Anyway, the eyebrows, number 1. The eyebrows. And the woman who plays his mother, Annie Sward, this is going back to my As the World Turns days, played Margot's mother, my friend Ellen's mother. So when I was watching it, I froze it and I took a picture of it and I sent it to Ellen, and she texted me back and she says, "Mama." And I said, "Yeah, now Jonathan Bennett's your brother." And she's like, "I could do worse." And but yeah, I think now they've done keeping Jonathan Bennett in his wheelhouse in the gay roles is what they need to do. And
Chip the expert, the Christmas Hallmark.
Well, I want to know who thought he could pull that off.
Well, he also did a wedding. I can't think of her name right now. He was in a wedding, at one where she wins like this contest, and her sister goes overboard and makes it all fancy, and he played a straight part in that one too.
I'm sure it was painful. And speaking of Jonathan, Christmas House 1 and 2. Now they were about to do a third, but then Treat Williams died. And from what I understand from the scuttlebutt I heard from our friend, they were actually they actually talked about doing like not a series, but maybe 1 or 2 a year about the family. And that all went in the wayside.
They actually could do that because they have something on Hallmark Plus called Holidays.
Well, they're not going to do it without Treat Williams.
No, Dazed. But they could, because they could honor the part where he passed away.
They don't want to do it without him.
Oh, they don't want to do it without him. I gotcha now. I gotcha. Yeah.
But Jonathan Bennett or Brad Harder, who we've interviewed, they have the distinction of having the first same-sex romantic kiss in Hallmark history in Christmas House 1.
Oh, that's a good little.
And it was like just snuck in.
Yep.
They probably had to do all sorts of things to make it in. God only knows what they really did versus what got on the screen.
Right.
But progress. And then I'll talk, and I'm only going to spend 2 minutes talking about the main story of Christmas Detour. 2015. Next year, I want the 10th anniversary cup of Christmas Detour with starring Sarah Strange and David Lewis as Frank and Maxine.
Starring.
I want somebody. I have to find an editor to give me the Frank and Maxine cup
with just them. And you know what's funny? When you talk to Paul Green about it, and he's a very kind-hearted guy, and he says it in a very good way, but he said that out of all the movies he did, he felt that one was the strangest because
guess what? Guess he had to work with somebody that was probably not pleasant to work with.
That's not what he said. You saying
no, he's not going to say that.
He said that it didn't feel plausible to him. And it was that whole mishap after mishap after mishap after mishap. And suddenly he wants to spend his life when he's so jaded and hurt because his brother goes with his woman. You know what I mean? So he just thought it wasn't plausible. And
quite honestly, the actress aside, I don't think she was a very likable character.
She wasn't.
Because she lied the whole way. Oh, my mother and I used to get it.
Yeah.
And then they lived in a one-room walk-up. Yeah.
I know. But that is all. They make up for that with
Frank and Maxine.
Yes, with Frank and Maxine. And Chip, he didn't even tell you this, but Chip was working on a story of their daughter. He's got a whole thing. And I'm like,
a whole thing. I probably have 7,000 words written.
I know. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Frank and chatting with him.
David Lewis.
Yes. And he's a funny guy. What was great was we found out that those two are really good friends.
Well, there's this cadre of Canadian actors who've been working together for 20 years. But here's the problem with David Lewis, which I love. If you don't follow him on Instagram, please do. He does these little things. He's drunk half the time. He's great. He's very funny. If you see him in a Hallmark movie, he's risen to the level. He's either the killer or the victim. So
he has a really good part of a character that's a nasty character. He is a Mountie in When Calls the Heart, and he's kind of like high up there, and he's got a thing for, getting at Kevin McGarry's character of Nathan Grant, Mountie Nathan Grant. So he's not a well-loved character, but it was great to have him on.
Well, I mean, he deserves work. But he was in one of the Hallmark mysteries. I won't say which one in case people haven't seen it, where
he was the killer.
I really thought somebody else was the killer, and I'm like, no, David Lewis is in it. He's got to be the killer.
He was. He was. Cindy's saying a good older one with Paul Campbell is Window Wonderland, and I do not like him in that movie. I don't like it. He gets on my nerves. It annoys me. However, I do love Kyler Lee in it. That was like one of her early Hallmark works. And Kyler is the star of On the Way Home, which is exceptionally written. And they pushed the envelope on that one. If people are not watching it, you can still binge watch it. I feel like I'm doing a Hallmark Plus plug for them tonight, but I'm not. It's on Hallmark Plus, but you can also watch it, I think, on regular Hallmark Channel. And you can binge watch because the third season's coming out. You will be rocked and socked because the ending always grabs at you. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God, it's good.
There's one from a couple years ago, In Merry Measure. Remember that one?
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the young lady comes back and she ends up doing something with her old high school. And I think that Brendan Penny that I like is in it.
Yep.
And that's Emily Osment, who I always liked. Now she's
beautiful.
on,
Yeah.
she was on Young Sheldon. Now she's
Yep.
on Georgie Mandy's First Marriage. And
Oh, she is. I didn't realize.
Yeah, she's Georgie's wife.
Oh, okay.
And she's
cute.
funny. She's really good.
Yeah.
And she's cute. And and that was a good one. I watched it and I didn't have a lot of hope for it. And I try to finish everything I start.
Right.
And it ended up being good. And then the one, I think this was new last year, Long Lost Christmas, with the young lady who is trying to find her mother's brother, that they were separated as children. And then
Tyler Cole.
she has to go to another town. She's an influencer or something. Yep. It just so happens that the father of the lady she's working with,
it's the brother.
And then she falls in, whatever. I don't even have to tell you.
They have some kind of like a mill or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And I think that the male lead or the son of it is
no, he's not the son because she ends up with him. He's the guy that works with them.
Yes.
His daughter is the girl. It's that Benjamin Ayres. Yeah,
Benjamin Ayres.
I can take or leave.
Yeah, he's funny. I love him. So one of the movies that I didn't point out because I do love it, but I was trying to be like traditional with sticking with Hallmark itself. And this wasn't on Hallmark at first, but now it is. It was Hallmark Mysteries and Movies. It's about it's like about Bethlehem. I think that's in the name, and they're in Bethlehem, PA.
Christmas in Bethlehem, PA.
Yes, but Benjamin Ayres is in it. He plays such a quirky.
No, that was Hallmark. That was Hallmark.
I think it was not Hallmark Channel though. I think it was
the started on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
Yeah. And she is so good in it, and she adopts that baby. It is so emotional. And she's so serious. And then you have him who's so goofy, and how the town, like her family takes her in, and how the mother comes to stay. I don't know. The whole thing.
You're right. The Hallmark Movies and Mysteries tend to be a little heavier than the Hallmark.
Yes.
And that's certainly one of them. And do you remember there's one a couple years ago? Oh, I loved I just watched Mystic Christmas last weekend.
So the same people that did Mystic Christmas are also where the people that they crossed over with directors and whatnot did the Biltmore.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to like that either, but because I drive through Mystic, Connecticut every time I go home to New Jersey, I thought I got to watch it. And I can take or leave Chandler Massey, but it was good.
But they also live there. He lives there. I think he was the director. He lives there in that area. So it was so much fun for him to be filming in his own little space.
There's one a couple years ago. It was called Kismet Christmas, which with Mary Lou Henner. And I thought that was a little odd because it was like she was making psychedelic cookies for people.
She was.
And that's very un-Hallmarkish.
Well, you know what else is? They had lemon drops like that. The lemon drop story was beautiful, and it broke my heart because she gets to see her mom who had passed away and whatnot. But anyway, the lemon drop people. The lemon drops were psychedelic.
Well, the Kismet cookies were killing people, drugging people.
Yeah. Okay, now we got drugs on. We got this whoa kind of kissing, and now we got drugs. What is happening to Hallmark?
Oh, I pretty much got through my list. Do you remember the one with the decorating wars? There was like the
Aaron Krakow, and it's called Cookie Cutter Christmas.
No, not Cookie Cutter Christmas.
The one with Aaron Krakow in it, and
no.
Oh no, which one?
This is the one it was two families, these older men, probably younger than me. They were they would hire out to decorate people's
Oh, the
houses.
houses, yes.
That one I enjoyed.
I love the one actor. He's so handsome. What is his name? Marcus. Is it Marcus? Like he was just in a Christmas
Marcus
movie.
Rosner.
No, no, no. It wasn't Marcus Rosner. No. Christmas at Bramble House. That's something Arlene's picking out. It's where the two families, one was very Italian. Actually, the person who played the dad in that is the director of Railtown and the owner and of Railtown Actor Studio. And he's got his own thing, and he we donate to that in honor of Chris McNally's birthday. And he does directing and movies and stuff, and he played in that one as the Italian dad.
No, I enjoy that. And I usually don't like the ethnic ones, because they never get it right. And they didn't get it too far off.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that big part. It wasn't that much of the movie either.
Yeah.
It was just, and the guy who played his son, I love him. He just, what Christmas movie was? Oh, he was in, I thought that was a mismatch. He was in Scouting for Christmas. And he played the lead in that, the male
What
lead.
was the one with the missing cookie recipe? And it turned out the guy hid it because he wanted them to.
Sounds
there was
familiar.
a missing cookie recipe, and somebody left. The grandmother left the bakery or the cookie company to the granddaughter, but the recipe went missing, and she had to find it. And it turned out the CEO or something hid it so she could find her own way.
Was Sweeten in it? Was she in it, Jody?
No.
No? Because I remember it was the recipe stood on like this pedestal, and then it disappeared, and then everybody had to go and
she was at her grandmother's grave. It might have been Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. I don't think it was Jill Wagner. It was no, it was somebody much younger. It was and she was at her grandmother's grave saying, "Oh, I failed you, whatever." And he comes and gives it to her and said, "You had to find your own way." That was a good one. And what was the one with Trevor Donovan and this toy store? And it was a decent movie, but here I'm going to say something I'm going to regret. But the leading lady seemed like his older sister rather than a romantic pairing. Do you remember that one?
I do, and it's like in an area that is
it's like an island or something.
It's what?
It's either an island or North Pole or something.
Yeah.
And he was in Nantucket Noel, which I could take or leave that one. And what else? That's really Sealed with a List. I wrote that down. I don't really remember that though.
That was good.
What was that about?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
And then I have Haul Out the Holly. I liked the first one. I feel like they made the second one because everybody liked the first one.
Nostalgic Christmas. They're just telling you.
Nostalgic Christmas. Oh yeah, that was the one where the leading lady, it was just a miss. Don't they do chemistry reads?
Sometimes I think they just automatically think it works. This is Haul Out the Holly was fun.
The first one was okay. The second one was like,
They had a huge cast in that. I don't like when there's just such a huge cast. Was The Gathering with Ed Asner?
I remember. That was I was in grammar school when that was on. That was 1977.
And Avis is going to tell you, well, I'm old, but not, I don't know, forgetful, or I'm old, but I can still look and see.
I remember that. Maureen Stapleton. I remember that very well.
It's really good.
It may have been a Hallmark Hall of Fame.
It was.
And then they did a second one a couple years later after he died, and Maureen Stapleton was ready to get married again, and the family came together. And that they should have made a series out of that, actually. That was really good. And I was like 12 years old, and I was into it.
I know.
And there was another movie in the 80s. My mother and I used to watch it every year on Christmas Eve. It was actually called Christmas Eve. It was a TV movie, and it was with Loretta Young. And she was a wealthy older lady living in New York City, and she had her son was middle aged, probably younger than me, and they lived in New York, very in a penthouse or whatever, and she had like a butler, and she found out she had like an aneurysm that was going to pop any minute, and her son had 3 kids who were totally estranged because he was just like an SOB. So she hired this detective to find the 3 kids. And he, and the movie was like his quest to find all 3 kids. And he did. He told them that their grandmother was dying and she really wanted to see them one more time. And, and they're like, oh, I really don't want to see my father. Da, 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 da. Christmas Eve comes and it's like almost time for midnight mass. And, it's clock strikes 11 and there they all are. And it was very touching. It was called Christmas Eve with Loretta Young, 1986. And I taped it the year it was on. Yeah, see, Susan remembers it. And my mom and I used to watch it every year on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
and I probably still have it on VHS somewhere.
Love it.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot. Next time that we talk, you wanted to talk about the actors that were under-celebrated, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Because here's what Hallmark does. They, there's popular people, right? It's a popularity contest. People, Andrew Walker and this one and that one, and they get all the hits or whatever, and that's who they use. And look, they're there to make money. I get it, but there's people who do I think Andrew Walker's the best actor on Hallmark? Absolutely not. Do I think he gets the most eyes? Probably. And the same thing with the women. Nikki Deloach.
He and Tyler Hines are.
Yeah, I mean, I just picked him at random. Nikki, whatever her name is she the best one? Absolutely not by a long shot. But she knows how to sell herself. And God bless her. Or she's hired the right people. And to sell her.
She's a nice publicist, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, really nice. God bless her. And look, if that were me, I'd be doing the same thing. So there's a lot of people as talented or more talented who maybe aren't interested in being in 14 movies a year.
But you know what? We sometimes take to Twitter and we campaign for that particular actor. And what do you think happens? Ta-da! Hallmark watches because they're
right. That's what I'm saying.
And they put them in more, and we're like, yeah. So you do have a voice with Hallmark, which is nice. Look, they do listen when you take
business.
Twitter.
They're not in business to not make money.
Yep. Yes.
And anybody who thinks it's not about money just isn't paying attention.
They're a corporation, of course it is. And
that's why Hallmark Plus is $7.99 a month.
We're gonna end with this because there was somebody arguing about. I was trying to explain something, and she was nasty, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" on this one page, and she was like, "I know what I'm talking about." Not that I was telling her she didn't, but she went off on a tangent because I have owned stock in Hallmark for years, and because I was trying to tell her they're a business that. This is a streaming system, Hallmark Plus. This is why there's a difference in X, Y, and Z. And I wrote back and I said, because she put it publicly and people started asking about it, I said, you can't own stock in Hallmark. It's not open to the public.
So I thought it was.
No. She's like, I've had Hall, Hall, and I think she Googled it. And I said, you can own stock in that, but that's a financial recovery program kind of thing that I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, they are there to make money and they are a business. I know people get mad and say, and I got to get this. They have a streaming system that is for streaming because their cable has gone down. They say 30% in general, but not Hallmark has not gone down that much when I looked at the ratings. So they are a business. They have to
Arlene, I watch The Homecoming every couple of years myself. The Waltons, and I love that you said the recipe. My dad used to make wine, and I would call it the recipe.
Oh, Avis, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and
oh my God, that's one of my favorites.
Which the one with Snow, A Year Without a Santa, and my God, I love that.
I was just talking about Santa Claus is Coming to Town today.
Yes, I have to watch it. Mitzi, hi Mitzi, A Veteran's Christmas Excellent, excellent, excellent pairing in that one. And A Christmas Homecoming are both wonderful movies about military related themes. A Christmas Homecoming is for me, but I do like A Veterans Christmas because I like them. Frosty, all of those. Yes, yes, yes. Now they also have now
Yeah,
some
people are jumping on the Christmas movie bandwagon.
well, no,
Um,
no. She means that they took, I posted it on our fan page. They took 10 movies that are Hallmark movies, and literally you can get them on
no, but
um
Netflix has their own Christmas movies. They had
they
that
do, but you could
Single
get them
All the
on
Way.
Netflix now.
Yeah,
You can get them on
but
Netflix.
there's also other places to get Christmas. I love Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol, Charlie Brown. There's a million, there's a million places to get Christmas movies, and
All right.
of course, my favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Oh, Christmas in Connecticut. Thank you, Avis. I thought I was the only one who knew that one.
Bishop's wife, Holiday. Holiday, and I love the
Yeah, I
holiday,
like
and I
that
love
one.
the holiday, and I have
I
to
took probably about 30 years ago now. I saw in one of the casinos, I forget which one. I went to the Rosemary Clooney Christmas show, and she sang songs from, and this was like at the end of her career. She sang some Christmas songs, but then a big screen came down and they showed scenes from White Christmas. That was amazing.
Oh, that's what Avis is saying now.
Allison, you know my friend Allison. We went one year.
That's
So
right.
again, I'm going to say what I said last time. This is all a lot of fun, but please pay attention to what's going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on that need our attention way more than Hallmark does. And I hope everybody voted yesterday.
Yes, I do too.
We were supposed to do this on Monday, and I had a whole lecture prepared about voting. I mean,
But that's okay. We're
there's
good.
governor's races and Senate races and local races.
Yes.
A woman that works for me, her son is our state senator here in Massachusetts.
Cool.
He won his 6th term in a landslide.
And a woman I work with, her husband is a state senator in Atesta for New Jersey.
Where?
He's for New Jersey.
Yeah, but what part of New Jersey?
Oh, they live in Cumberland County, but
Oh.
they live in Vineland. Yeah.
Julian is state senator. It's all the Cape, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket. And most state senators, it's really a part-time job, but this is a full-time job because the territory is so big. He's like 33. He has his eye on being governor.
All right, friends, have a good night.
Oh, Nestor the long-eared Christmas donkey. I remember that one.
Say good night, Chip.
Good night. We'll be back. Will we be back before Christmas?
Yeah. You want to do one
next time? I may be doing it in Roxanne's studio.
Why would you tell them? We could have surprised them.
Oh, well.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Bye. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes.